So welcome to this lecture. My name is Bolo Gwade, co-founder and CEO here at Zee Realty, fondly called Realtor Z. Right, Zee Realty is a company focused at helping the younger generation invest in real estate safely and smarter. Right, so we've looked through a lot in this real estate investing series. So today we'll be looking at real estate search. What does this mean, and exactly how to conduct it properly? So what exactly is a real estate search? What does this mean? So real estate search is simply you taking time to look through and ensure that the property you are buying is valid. Right? You're checking that the property you are buying is valid. There are many ways, many things you have to check. It's like when you want to buy a car, you don't just look at the fact that the car has a nice body. No. You've got to check the engine. You want to check, the mileage, right, and all of that, right? Because the body can be good, the gearbox can be bad, the gear can be good, the wheels can be bad, the wheel can be good, the air condition can be bad. So just that way, buying land is very delicate, and you want to be able to know how to properly check through, right? So I've outlined 5 core searches you have to do before you make any real estate property. Let me add one here, safe. Community search. Right. I'm going to explain why I added that. So number 1 is the survey search. Now in the previous lecture, I've talked about the survey plan, why you need to get one, and all of that. Now listen. For a survey search, what you want to do, listen. Everywhere on earth, I'm sure you probably know this, has its coordinates. So I'm here. I'm currently here, it has its particular coordinates, the longitude and latitude of the earth, right? So I can get this exact point. So if they tell me that this land is my own, what do I do? Right? This land they own it and they want to sell it to me. That's no problem. I simply tell them to send coordinates, or you go to the land, you pick coordinates. I'm going to explain how that works. You pick coordinates. Now when you pick these coordinates, usually at the office of the surveyor general, I want you to pay attention. The office of the surveyor general, they have what we call the master plan of the master layout. So this particular property here can maybe be somewhere in a very tiny place in the States. So when you take this, they'll be able to check. 1, what are you checking for? Ownership. Who owns it? Is it really for who said? Remember when we talked about registered survey? If the place is surveyed, we'll be able to get who the land is registered under. Are you with me? Right. So with that search, we can also check if it complies with the government layout. So each state has what they call, like I said, their master plan. And you want to be sure that the layout of that property is good. For example, in some master plans in a country, they've marked out some places as what we call forestry. Of some states. And what forestry means is that they don't want people to build. They want to use it to preserve, in quote, maybe some natural resources. So if you buy a land there now, without checking with the master plan, and you build it, they'll demolish it. You say the government is wicked, you didn't do a proper search. Right? I remember the story of, I'm sorry, I have many stories. It's because of the wealth of experience in this field. That's where you just see a lot of things. So there's a particular guy who was about to purchase a property. Now the property was ridiculously cheap. Once a property is ridiculously cheap, we begin to suspect. So and then when we checked, we found out that the property they wanted to sell to him, the government had already said they are going to do a railway there. So that property in the master plan had a railway. So it was on the path of that railway. That meant somewhere in the future, that guy will wake up and they'll demolish his house. And you say the government is wicked. The government is not exactly wicked. You just need to do a proper search. Now, this search usually is not something you do on your own. Remember, I was saying things like pick coordinates. You need the help of a surveyor. That's very, very important. So, the next kind of search is a legal search. Why is this so? Sometimes a land is still in a court case, so that means there's still what we call it's in litigation. Now, if you buy a property that is in litigation, it's very dangerous up until when judgment has been given. And like I said, it's best to have judgment from the Supreme Court. Up until when judgment has been given by that land is very dangerous. So sometimes some people will not tell you, they won't, that the land is in a court case. They will just sell it to you. And sometimes after selling it to you, they eventually lose the case. And now you're the one they sold it to. You start having to run helter-skelter. So usually for this, Nigeria doesn't have a very good legal system as at the time of this trainings recording. So there's no way you can exactly go and punch and check. However, with the help of a lawyer, there's some basic due diligence they can do, some questions they can ask to ensure and validate that, okay, this property is not under litigation, right? So the third search you do is an economic search. I think this is the most dangerous. Some days, some people have borrowed money with the land. They've put the land as a collateral. What they now do is they now take that property and they sell it. So you bought the land and you don't know that it's been used as a collateral. So let's say the person cannot pay his or her debt. They come and they take the land and you're wondering, what are these people on my property? You don't know that it has been used as a collateral. So you want to also ensure that the property is not a debt collateral. Right? Very, very important. Right? The next one is a physical search. Never buy a property without visiting it. Or even if you can't get there, get somebody trusted to go and visit. Right? I remember again, we're going for a client. I think the client was in the UK or Canada, and we're to help that client get a property here. Or there's a property the client wanted to get, and the real estate company, they said no, the property is just by the road. So that's how we started driving. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And we eventually got to a place where we couldn't even drive further. We honestly never even got to that property. We just left it. If we had not done a physical search, people are not exactly so committed to integrity like we are. And so you hear things like 3 minutes drive from the road. Sometimes it's 30 minutes drive, 4 minutes drive from the road. Right? So you want to check and ensure, right? What the physical visit does for you is, number one, it lets you check access. You want to check access to the property. For example, properties by the roadside develop far more than properties that don't have a connecting road. Some places is just entire bush, but some places have a tarred road. And because of that, the value of that property will most likely go up. Right? You want to check if there's access into your property. Is there a road that leads to your property? Right? Very, very important. So you want to have a physical search. Don't just say, I have land somewhere. No, go and check it. Right? Or at least if you can't, get a reliable representative to go and check it for you. Right? Now the next one is what we call a governmental search, which is closely related to this. Now, I want you to pay attention. The government can show interest in a property. So when they show interest in a property, it's simply them saying, okay, well, I know the entire land is for estate. However, this portion, don't touch it. We have something we want to do with it. Then we say that property is under government acquisition. Now, this is very dangerous. Actually, not exactly very dangerous. There are two kinds of government acquisition. Number one is committed government acquisition. Number two is non-committed. So what is committed government acquisition? For example, the government has already marked in their layout, this place there's going to be a railway. This place there's going to be something. They have something they have marked it out for. If you buy a property, I don't know if you've seen videos where the government just wakes up and starts demolishing houses. And then videos like that begin to trend on the internet. Most times, government has marked out those places under committed acquisition. And what they are saying is, please don't build anything here. We have plans for this. Don't build anything here. But what people do is they don't pay attention to that, and they still build stuff here. And later, some things could take as long as 50 years. So never buy a property which is under government acquisition. But the second kind of acquisition is less dangerous, which is non-committed acquisition. So the government just has interest in that land, but they've not exactly committed it to anything. So if you buy that kind of land by mistake, you can, regularize it. There's a process called regularization, and they release it to you. However, don't ever consciously buy a property under government acquisition. So these are questions you ask. Is it under acquisition? If they say it's under acquisition, please try not to buy it, right? So you want to ensure that, like I said, it aligns with the governmental layout, and it's not under government acquisition. And lastly is community search. But with a developer, I think a couple of months ago, where the property was launching. And let me tell you something about community search. The truth is that, especially if you're buying lands in villages, if somebody genuinely owns the land, or somebody doesn't own a land, let me use that example, and he sells it to you, or he claims he's the owner, if you clear, and that's what they do in real estate sales these days, they will clear the land, right, and wait for like 1-2 months. If nobody comes to, in quote, waylay them or look for their trouble, it means the person that sold the land to them is the actual owner. Because usually you won't be able to successfully clear a land, and the owner will not come and meet you if it's not the true owner that sold it to you, right? And beyond that, so you want to check, right, with the people around the community, right? You want to interface with them, talk with them. Okay, they'll tell you, this person that sent this guy's a fraud, right? So very, very important. And also you want to check the nature of the community. Some places look great in the afternoon, but in the night they are upside down. they are upside down, right? And some people purchase property or houses in areas that they don't like noise, they don't like randomness. But then in midnight, 10 clubs on their street they didn't even know. So don't just check your property in the day. If you can't, go and check it in the night, see how it looks. When it rains, what happens in that area? Does that make sense? So you can do a community search. In summary, for a good search, you will need a very good lawyer, you would need a surveyor, and if you can, maybe not compulsory, but you will need to go there yourself, most likely with your surveyor, physical visit. And this one I was about to say, not most likely, you will need a friend in the area, somebody who is on ground, right, to talk to, right. So I think if you do these things on a basic level, you will be able to have a relatively good time in your property purchase. Once again, my name is Realtor Zee from Zee Realty, company committed to helping the younger generation invest safely and smartly in real estate. I hope you received value from this. See you on the next lecture.